Doesn't matter. Alright, we are here, finally! Welcome to Violent Ends, Round 2, Game 3! This is the very first ace game of the entire tournament. In the top left, playing as Goo, we have Cowboy Dan! And in the bottom right, we have Krux, playing as Beta. So both of them playing, of course, their very strongest faction, and we are on grasslands. In the center, we have a drover taking up a position inside of this forest. And Krux has recalled his scout back to his base. So, wow, a very defensive opening from Krux there. Not even going to attempt to harass this mother Goo. I think he thinks his opponent is going to go double mother, and he may just be thinking about out-macroing him. I don't know. Lots of mind games between these two players, no doubt about that. In Game 1, Krux went with a pretty solid greedy opening and managed to take out his opponent's mothers, just picking them off all over the map one by one, with early predators transitioning into stalkers and hailstorms with Stratus and Seeker support. In Game 2, he went with a much less greedy build, tried a very aggressive early double factory proxy, but unfortunately it didn't quite pan out. Cowboy Dan shut it down, mostly due to Crux's failure to split his commandos. And in the end, Cowboy Dan simply had way too many large proteins and overwhelmed Crux's base. So, very different games between Game 1 and Game 2, and I'm very curious to see what we're going to see in Game 3. We're going to see an incredibly early tank attachment from Krux here, already producing himself some predators out of his one factory, and small protean has been spawned there. Interesting choice. Simply scouting around the left side of the map. Cowboy Dan is actually... Okay, Cowboy Dan is looking for Crux's proxy. He thinks that Krux is going to go with an aggressive double factory proxy again. But in reality, Krux hasn't even really left his base yet. Producing one stalker, one commando, one predator, and then going into a second refinery. Kind of a cute build order. One of each unit. One of each unit and then refinery. That's the combined arms beta build order, I guess. Small protean will take a healthy dose of damage from a stalker and two commandos there. I'm not even sure he spotted the predator, but he will back off regardless. Apparently the game is lagging. For Cowboy Dan. I hope it's not too bad. Hopefully, once observer mode gets implemented, we'll also be able to see latency to make sure it's within acceptable levels for competitive gaming. This is going to be a very close engagement here. We've got a predator. Oh no, it's not going to be a close engagement. I'm pretty sure Krux has lost. There's no way that one predator and two commandos can stack up to this many drovers, and his stalker got picked up over here by that small protean. Once the small protean comes to assist in this engagement, the stalker will go down for sure, so it's really just a matter of Krux trying to trade as cost effectively as he can. And he does manage to take out 5 drovers there. Takes out 5 drovers in exchange for literally his entire army. But he has gotten his second refinery up and is now building himself 2 more factories. And Cowboy Dan is actually still on only 1 mother, but he has just spawned his second one now. So pretty aggressive opening from Cowboy Dan, getting himself 3 small proteins before getting a bigger economy at all. And I think that's going to be quite a setback for Cowboy Dan. Meanwhile, Krux has already gotten himself a second refinery. I almost wonder if Cowboy Dan waited too long to get a second mother. We're going to find out. Two more predators hitting the field, as well as a stalker and a commando. And I'm sure he's just going to keep this factory on predator. No, he's not. Okay. He switched this factory back to commandos. Interesting. These two factories also producing commandos. And another refinery is going up now, as well as another hub. Meanwhile, still on only 2 mothers here from Cowboy Dan. The refinery will complete now, and the extractor is going up. And we will see a harassment attempt from Krux. Still hunting, still searching. Hasn't quite located any mother goose yet. Checking the left side, plus 13 first. No engagement has happened, and it's very cat and mouse right now. That drover scout will get taken out. Krux going into the forest here. It looks like the engagement is about to be joined. He leaves the forest, trying to kite these small proteans. More drovers getting picked off. Krux needs to split himself up a little bit. I don't know who's going to win this. Oh, a small protean just got picked up before it could morph. It's going to be close. I think Krux has it. There it is. Cowboy Dan's failure to morph that protean, apparently due to lag, loses him that engagement, and now he is in an extremely bad position. With only 2 mothers produced and harassment on its way, as well as a 4th refinery going up here in Crux's base. And more harassment forces are on their way to the front lines. I don't think there is pause, no. Without a proper observer mode, there's really nothing we can do. You just have to deal with it. If the game's lagging, that's the best answer I can give. Krux continuing to scout here in the top right with these harassment forces. A lot of drovers getting morphed there by Cowboy Dan. Krux continuing to harass with his extremely wounded force there. They're gonna get cleaned up by those drovers easily. And we're going to see Seekers out of this stealth attachment factory. We're probably going to see some cloudbursts out of this air attachment factory. Not yet. He has the air attachment available to him, but he's just going to get himself stalkers out of there for now. We are on 4 refineries there. It looks like we're going to see an engagement up here in the northeast. Or center, actually, like center north. One mother goo hiding in the forest. This one in a lot of trouble. Spawns a small protean. I'm honestly not even sure how many mothers Cowboy Dan has right now. I think it's 4? Maybe it's just 3. I don't know. Krux is going to have to split during this engagement. That's a lot of small proteans and not that many commandos. Looks like a pretty good split so far. Very nice spread. He will get picked up by the mother there, unfortunately, and all of his predators have gone down, and this is just way too many drovers. I think Krux engaged pretty cost-effectively here. Pretty cost-effectively. Could have been worse anyway. I mean, that was a decent split. He did what he could with the few forces he had at his disposal. More harassment is on its way from the south, and more is on its way from Crux's base. And we're going to see a pretty aggressive expansion here outside of Crux's base. We've got 3 defensive turrets going up, as well as a medium hub, small hub, and large factory going up on the medium hub. And these drovers are going to lose this engagement. What was he thinking? He just let a lot of those die for nothing. And yeah, I'm now thinking Cowboy Dan is on 3 mothers, but he will be on 4, or more than that, very soon. He's got what he needs to spawn more, but the fact that he just lost a lot of drovers, more harassment is on its way from the base, and this mother is getting dangerously harassed by a pretty decent-sized force here. Not looking good for Cowboy Dan. I think if Krux expands any more and is more successful in his harassment, I think this could be GG here. These mothers aren't even moving. They're taking so much damage right now.